Good morning again. Welcome back to the Backpacktrader training room for our crude oil inventory session for March 6th. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and information purposes only. It is not to be considered individual financial advice. Trading of this type carries substantial risks and should only be attempted with funds that you can afford to do without. All right, done with the disclosure for today. Here are our charts for the inventory session. Crude April contract on the 8-tick range bar spotlight, otherwise known as the 8-cent momentum bar for TradeStation. On the right side, upper left is unleaded, also the April contract spotlight using a 20-tick range bar or a 0.002 momentum bar on TradeStation. And then the lower left is also crude April contract using counterpunch on the 377 tick chart, meaning for each bar represents 377 trades. There is a crude currently on that 377, currently in a short, but there's a potential for a long setup. You've got to have the cyan line cross above the yellow line in the histogram to get the long setup. Crude on spotlight chart is in a short setup also, but we have no long setup there. Unleaded is in a short that has gone too far, so we will look for a new setup there. Report coming out in less than a minute. Uh, 20 seconds. We'll wait 2 minutes before taking trades. There's the long trade on the 377 tick. We really will want to look to see new setups after the report anyway. Don't want to get reaction setups. We want to. And there is the report coming out. Big reaction on the 377 tick. Okay, there's our low. Bouncing off the 50 EMA, crude has moved up fairly significantly on the session today and still working at its session highs. So that's our reaction range so far. We did hit money management on the crude chart, so we'll look for a new setup there. There's a new short setup on the 377 tick counterpunch crude chart. Another minute yet to go, but there's a short setup on unleaded. And a long setup on the 377 crude chart. Short setup on unleaded stops out, and we are in Are we? Not quite. We're still 10 seconds away from being able to take trades. So everything right now, well, no, that's not true. I was going to say everything is flat, but crude is long actually on the 377, and we can get in sync with that now. We also have a possible short setup there. Long triggers in. And we have a short setup on crude. I'd bring that down to 97. And it looks like it touched it as I was getting the order in. And stopping out, so that trade is off the table. And I need to get that order out of there. All right. We got a short on unleaded that got target 1 but not target 2. So target 2 traders got a partial. Target 1 traders are done. And target 2 traders are now in the long. Okay. 377 tick. 79.99. Alright, so 97, and it did trigger in and then reversed back to long at 811. Ouch, that's a big adjustment for a small trade. Is that set up at 807, so 809. $811 would have been the stop and reverse. So long now. So that means 821. Money management is going to be 821. That's our 10 tick minimum, which is actually all the way up above target 3. So I would have taken that as just an exit point. And I would take this long trade, which is showing an add-on that just went through target one, went through our target one, and working toward target two. And I didn't see the long come up on Spotlight. That is just out of the reaction range, so I didn't get an order in on that one. 80.12, and it did hit money management and target one at 24. So now looking for target two. And a partial win on the long trade. Just stopping out on 377 tick. We did get in, and we got another break even, or another money management trade. So this will be a POQ trade, power quitting trade for the unleaded as well. Two money management trades and positive. We did not get into the short there. $80.13 for the stop on crude chart, Spotlight crude. All right, short trade pending. And we got a new setup there. On the 377. That has now canceled, so no setup there. Unleaded stopping out for a second partial win. That is a power of quitting, and we have a long setup on the 377 tick counterpunch chart. That's right at the session high. I would push that up. How big is that trade? It doesn't look like it's terribly big. Yeah. I'd just push it up to 29. Put it one tick above the session high. Not big enough to make much more of a move than that. That's going to put the money management at 39, and our target will be target 3. And that cancels anyway. So still in the long trade on the Spotlight crude chart. Unleaded is done. I think 377 tick. No, that was just a partial win on that white trade. We didn't have an actionable target because of the stop where we would have been the stop and reverse adjust. So just exit at 811, and then we enter long at 812 in the add-on. That was a partial win. And we did take the loss on the stop and reverse, so probably needing another trade. In fact, I'm sure we need another trade. And another long trade set up on the 377, but not able to get to it yet. We got a close on the balance line. Looks like we're going to get a close below now, but we're still a valid trade even after this bar closes, which it just did. We still have the valid long at 80.33. We did get target 2. $12 and $19, 31 ticks. If you got into the short, you lost 26. So plus 5, and that is power of quitting. And Crude kind of going sideways on the 377 now. Counterpunch 377 tick. The 8 tick range is still showing an uptrend, although not a very strong one right now. It's definitely got a sawtooth character to it. Long trade on 377 cancels. And a new long trade set up on 377. We'll see what that one does. And yet another new setup. That's at the session high again. Push that to 33. And so 43 will be our money management. And target will be target 3. Long trade still valid. That's the only chart that can still take trades. We are at power of quitting for both the Spotlight Crude chart and the unleaded chart. Unleaded with 2 money management trades for target 2 traders. Target 1 traders picked up a target 1 win on the first trade. Spotlight Crude picking up a full loss if you got into that trade. If you were slow getting in and didn't get triggered in, as I didn't on the demo there, then the long trade would have been your only trade. But either way, you got positive, so that would be a POQ. And the long trade cancels two closes below the balance line, or the signal line, I guess, on the counter punch. So flat there. And we're 20 minutes in with no and not able to get anything at this point. Still nothing new on 377 tick counterpunch. The spotlight chart still trailing the original long, or that last long trade. Slowing down considerably. I don't understand why we didn't show up a couple of trade setups here. That still should have been a long setup because the 200 is, that's, even though we're in the chop zone, that is with the 50 on the long side. Unless the trades are too small, would be the only thing I can think of that would keep them from printing. And that's quite possible too. So nothing happening, and that's likely what's going on. Yeah. $80.38 from $80.30. Yeah, the trade was too small. Oh no, let's see, 40 from 32. Yeah, the trade was too small. It was just 8 ticks. So that's why we didn't get one. And nothing doing. Well, I'll shut it down about 11 o'clock if it hasn't done anything at that point. No exhaustion dots to work off of at this point. There's another set of exhaustion dots. $42 to $36. That's 6 ticks. So yeah, it's 10 tick minimum, just 10 ticks to target 3. So not the way I have it set. It's not going to print that trade either. And testing the 50 EMA. Some of these bars look big, but only because the other bars are so small. I need to pull back into the 50 to get a setup to go short. Okay, well, okay, there we go. Now if we turn back down short, we can get a setup, or we can get a long setup. There it is at 42 again. Adjust it up. This one is big enough. Yeah, I would adjust it to 44. Yeah, 43 is good. And it just went to 44, so we're in the trade. In the trade from 43. Looks like money management is at 53. Yep. So it's 10 ticks to target 1, 17 to target 2, which is our objective. I'm getting a lot of trades for little price movement. That's what the small bars on that 377 tick chart mean. A lot of activity, but not much commitment. And just as I think I'm going to stop at 11, we get into a trade. That's that's one of those par for the course. Okay, the Spotlight Crude trade did finally stop out at about 80.28. And of course, we did not have a trailing position on that one. And back to the entry. Session high pushed up to 44. Still working at session highs on crude. Unleaded also pushing higher. Stop all the way down there at 80.24. $19 ticks of risks for 17 ticks of profit. And there's a push higher, pushing to 46. Need to go to 53 for money management. And there's an add-on trade at 51. Green trade, but notice it's darker. That indicates it's an add-on. Now that one got big enough, even with a 2-tick major key level adjustment. You got at least 10 ticks to target 3. All right, back to the entry at 43. There's no commitment. Slowly pushing up through the sawtooth. It's going to have to work its way up through the 50, which will be another obstacle. 50 cent level. And the stop is not even on screen right now. Pushed the session high up to 48 and came back and tested the 20 SMA. Back to 48 now. See if it can push through 50. This one just looks like slow going. The 50 EMA moving up, the EMA's moving up is a good sign. But the fact that we're getting exhaustion dots and trades less than 10, there's another add-on trade. There we finally got to money management at 53. Popped through. So 47 is our stop. And stopping out at 47. So that is a partial win. 4 ticks on the trailer, so 2 positions is 8 ticks. What we got on this, go back to the all right, so 12 to 19 is 7, 14, and 8's 22. So let's see, went 11. No, I said we got in sync with the long, that's right. So we go 06 to 97 is 918, and 97 to 11 is 28. So we're down 46, and I said we got 14 and 8 for 22, so we're still down 24. And have a short trade set up and canceled. Long trade that's canceled. Now we have a short trade. Move that a couple of ticks around the 50. Put it at 42. It's going to put the money management at 32. So it looks like we have an 11 tick target 3. One close above the signal line. And another trade too small on the long side. It would have triggered in, and that would cancel the short. And then now there's our second close above. So the short is canceled. At this point, the way it's moving, I'm going to call it a morning. We will see everybody tomorrow. 9:30 Eastern. Regular session. Everybody have a good one. Have a good afternoon, and we'll see everybody tomorrow at 9:30.